Hi, I'm Nick Jorgensen. I spent 15 years as a commercial insurance broker and field remediator. I'm not guessing where the system breaks. I've lived the submission chaos and the claims dispute loop. Because it's for BTV, I'm hitting the technicals fast to spend the rest of our time on the vision. A brief leadership will be added at the end. This isn't just documentation. This is the next era of property intelligence that creates a true win-win-win for the broker ecosystem. We are not just a concept. OVRWatch is presently delivering evidence-grade data today for national portfolios like Lifetime Fitness and Cortland and MAA. We operate at scale, using drone exterior plans with 360 interior walkthroughs to forge them into a capture block. A capture block is a navigable digital twin of every accessible square foot that is then hashed into a property blockchain. No artistic interpretation, no algorithmic ambiguity, just the actual condition of the physical asset. The capture block is a force multiplier, but it's also a choice for each stakeholder on how to engage with the information. I encourage you to pause or take a screenshot right now. Tier 1 is what we're calling the truth layer. It requires zero active work from underwriters, brokers, or policyholders. It merely exists as a break glass in case of emergency pre-loss record. While carriers typically reserve about 3 to 6% of premium for litigation and reinspection expenses, just having this capture block exist allows for a potential reallocation of a portion of that reserve into the source of genuine truth to minimize ambiguity at binding. We move from pricing on fear to pricing on facts and having removed vectors for litigation after the fact because we have a source of truth of before and after. Tier 2 is selective clarity. When a concern arises, roof age, HVAC integrity, fire safety, we remove the 5 emails back and forth between stakeholders, and we have underwriting being able to be guided through a live virtual walkthrough. This is teleportation for risk verification. We can just jump in, just like this, and perform any one of these tasks that you see on any of these videos. None of those are computer generated. Well, you know what I mean. For the policyholder, at the most basic level, saving just one out-of-state visit makes this an immediate operational win in ROI. That's just tier 2. Tier 3 is where embracing the data starts to really compound. Policyholders can use capture blocks for due diligence and capital expense stack ranking, raising the agent status for the first phone call in the acquisition process. They're going to reach out and ask for this. Brokers are getting a massive wedge for acquisition, BORs, and retention because they're holding the asset. Carriers can confidently sharpen their pencils, creating program-type business centers that virtually eliminate the vectors of litigation with verifiable information to back their underwriting decisions, potentially expand the appetite, what have you. There's so many different ways this information can be applied. But the next step is where BTV and its associates win the foreseeable future. Because today, insurance AI is being trained effectively on junk when it comes to the physical attributes of the assets. Blurry photos, unstructured PDFs, outdated risk assessments, opinions from experts that just aren't formatted for AI and inference training. So when you imagine that the best fixed-wing aircraft has a 7-centimeter resolution, they can't resolve anything smaller than a tennis ball, and they're using it to rate a roof, we need a different set of criteria to have our foundational truth for the AI models to really make a difference. By linking capture blocks together over time and adding to the enterprise knowledge base, we create labeled intelligence. You pair ground truth reality with the actual conversations that trigger credits or appetite, and now you aren't just selling a policy or doing some marketing, you are building a proprietary training repository for the next generation of your AI copilots with every interaction and every renewal. Quickly, we can see how these data sets allow for policyholders and brokers to move from black box algorithmic rating systems from carriers to a verified reality that is easily communicated and accepted as overriding documentation for rating purposes. So how would this actually scale? Well, we operate manually today with pilots on site, and most people like pilots walking through their hallways as opposed to drones. But OVRWatch has already laid the digital rails for citywide automation. In 2025, we were the first to cover an entire metro area in Nashville, North Carolina. In 2026, we are executing towards a future where autonomous drone-in-box networks replace infrequent low-res satellite or fixed-wing views. The stakeholders who define the data standards today will own this infrastructure tomorrow. So why BTV? Because you have positioned yourself as the innermost loop of innovators in the brokerage space. We want to define what good looks like with your network of brokers and carriers. We want to use our distributed network of human operators at that scale so that when we get to the infrastructure level across the nation and across other cities, the data that we're collecting is already tuned to what actuaries and underwriters need, as well as what brokerages need to make the impact, as well as what policyholders need. The tech has finally caught up with that vision. So let's stop pricing ambiguity, let's start the property blockchain, and let's build the future of risk together. Our COO, Michael Scher, has founded, scaled, and exited 3 companies in the enterprise safety and security space, including SendWord Now, exit to OnSolve, Group Do Lists, exit to Infinite Blue, and Infinite Blue, exit to Everbridge, with a combined exit value of over $400 million. Michael's work is grounded in deep industry relationships, a commitment to innovation, and a personal passion to protect and improve safety outcomes for employees and businesses while protecting brand reputation and minimizing risk, especially during unexpected incidents. Our CEO, Reese Anderson, has 20 years as a large loss adjuster and contractor. Reese has successfully run pilot programs for police departments, spearheaded R&D as an awarded innovator in the drone space, worked with DoD and Army Corps of Engineers, and is currently a leading force in the American drone manufacturing effort.